My name's Ollie, I'm 28 years old, and this year we are principal contractors on 2 builds at RHS Chelsea Flower Show 2025.
It's not my first rodeo, it's one of his first rodeos.
It's our first time on the big stage, massive opportunity, let's hope it goes well. It's a video. Camera will be here for the whole build. Yesterday was 13 hours on site, the day before was 12.5 hours on site.
Oh, sorry mate.
Sort of like terrifying IKEA, everybody is definitely starting to flag. We will get through it.
Absolutely, it's just going to suck.
Let's get into it. Good morning, happy Monday. Welcome to the last week building at Chelsea 2025. I'm smiling as I say it because it's pretty terrifying. This stands feeling fairly relaxed about it all because, as you can see, our fantastic planting teams are here, led by the amazing Adam Vetra, who's been such a support with all of this. The planting side of things is something that's not my area of expertise, so having him to call on and rely on and really lean on has been so unbelievably valuable. So super grateful. He's brought along some of his industry colleagues to help with the design as well. So we're, as you can see, starting to make our way through sorting out some of the plants. So what the designers are doing first of all is anything which is in flower and we want to try and slow down is going into the shade and being covered up, and anything that hasn't quite come into flower yet and we're worried isn't going to come on quick enough is going straight into the direct sunlight. So we're trying to bring that flowering on. This plot is definitely the escape. It's a lovely place to be. It's calm, it's cool, it's in the shade. Yeah, it's great. We've got the sculptors turning up this week. We've got lighting going in this week. We've got planting being finished this week. So this is really going to come on well. Inside, bit of a different story. So I'll catch up with you over there.
We're here helping Hardwood Landscapes, Ollie Gregson, with the planting of the David Harbour stand you can see around us. The garden's been designed by a great designer, Fernando Wong. So we're here to bring this whole garden to life. Looking around the garden, we got a lot of work still to do. A lot of the hard landscaping is in, so it's fantastic. The guys are just getting all the Proplex down to protect the hard landscaping. So we can get in and start working on the hedges. They're looking a bit sort of woolly at the minute. They've had a few chunks taken out of them, so we're just taking those out at the minute. And then once we've got all that in, the statues are going to come in. We've got the, all the hard standings are in for those. And then we're going to move on to the plants. As with anything at Chelsea, things don't always work out exactly. Ideally, we should be planting now, but it never happens. So we work shoulder to shoulder with the hard landscape boys, Ollie's team, the Hardwood Landscapes guys. So it's all about collaboration, communication, and making sure everything works. One of the things that we've got to be careful of is making sure that we're probably, 6-7 days before the stand is judged. So we've got to make sure that the plants that we have that have been delivered are going to be at their most optimum, ready for judging. And it's judging what's going to happen here, what's going on around, the state of the stock when it arrives. So, you have a look in a minute. To the left, we've got a whole bunch of alliums. They're brilliant at this time of year. But the purple ones we've got in a minute, they're going to go over. We've got some replacement alliums, the white alliums, but they're too juvenile. So we're stuck between a bit of a rock and a hard place as to we can't use the purple ones, they're going to be over. But do we take the risk with the white ones? There are no planting plans with these gardens. It really is, how can we make the best garden come to life with the plants that we have? And that's what we've got to focus on this week. Is it real? No. We're putting 20 to 25 plants per square metre in the ground. They stay in their pots. It looks amazing for a week, and then that all has to be dug up again and taken elsewhere. So it's a big thing. That's why all the plants stay in their pots, because they then get reused and taken elsewhere to other gardens and recycled. So we're trying to balance a lot of things, trying to juggle a lot of things, but it's all about protecting the plants as well, to make sure that they can be used and not thrown in that big skip behind us. So that's the key thing. We do not want that. But there you go, that's what we're doing. We've got several days ahead of us. Hopefully the sun will continue to shine, obviously lots of watering because of that, and we'll get cracking.
It is going, and it's going well. So I didn't do any vlogging yesterday, which was a Sunday, and a huge amount has changed on this plot. Thank God, because there's still a huge amount to do. So massive opportunity for us, obviously, this build. Hoping it's not going to be the last ever thing we get to do at Chelsea. There's certainly been a bit of 2 a.m. staring at the ceiling, stressing about this one. But I think we picked up some really good momentum. As you can see on that side of the water feature, the rendered planters are now all going. So there's been a little bit of one person needs to finish their job before another one can start, and there's been 8 renderers on site today. So there's a lot of them. We've got to keep moving, got to keep them busy. We really can't have people standing around. So they've done some great stuff. The stonemasons have managed to place some of the bigger, key, bolder features now as well. And what we've also done to try and speed them up, because they are behind schedule, is they have laid some thermalites, just some light concrete blocks on belly all around that wall, and what that's done is given them a level, flat surface to then start building the stone off of.
We're way behind. Yeah, we're going to have to get it done, so that's a thing. We've increased the team. We've got another guy coming in to help with the wall in a day or two's time, and we're having to work around so many other trades at the moment. Ours is the slowest part of the build, so we're trying to prioritise opening up areas for other people while we can still keep going at a pace that is going to be beneficial to us and the whole build. So it's going to be unbelievably tight, but I'm starting to get the feeling we're going to do it. Today we're starting on the main wall around the monument, but first of all we had to get in this feature here, which is based on a squeeze style, and it's a piece of stone we split at Milestone Yard. So it's basically a 450 kilo boulder we've split traditionally with plugs and feathers to create this feature. As you look down through the rails, you eye this, you see the monument, and then the wall will come away either side from there. So we'll be bedding the thermalite blocks down, and then the first course of stone is actually bedded onto that. Then everything else is laid dry stone, but packed with lime mortar and bits of stone behind. Within the wall, we've got some big boulders over there. They are going to be built into the wall as features. So maybe this one will come in here. This long, thin one will probably go down the side somewhere. Just so as the stone would have been built years ago, they would build around the outcrops of stone that come out. So you just wall in between it. Then there's another little feature going around the other side, which we're going to keep quiet about at the moment. But that's all done and ready and prepped. And then we're going to create a little step pin here so you can get up onto the garden.
The water feature is in, which is amazing. Sort of finding that as the days go on, I start to struggle more and more, but whenever something like that is achieved, a little boost of energy, which is good. The thatchers are doing an awesome job. The archway is starting to look incredible. The decking guys are now beyond the pergola and about to start coming through this. As you can imagine, a wiggly shape, not square, not parallel with anything, so they're scribing in and cutting as they're going. Nothing is easy for anyone. We of course have the amazing Hardwood Landscapes team who are just in the background, keeping all of the wheels turning, building everything that everybody needs, making sure everyone has got everything they need. There's a lot to do, but feels like we are getting somewhere. I'm going to walk back over now to what seems to be sort of my escape, and that's the David Harbour stand. The planting teams are getting on there. It's much more peaceful, much more quiet, and ahead of schedule, which is lovely. Do you want one?
Yeah.
Hiya. Can I get an iced latte, please?
Iced latte?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Cool. Caffeine, cold caffeine.
Anyone want another single espresso?
If it's going, yeah. Amazing. Thank you. Well, hey, extra coffee. Yeah, so I discovered Red Bull for the first time here. People found it very funny, but yeah, first time ever, and it was amazing. And then the second day I had 2, and then the third day I had 3, and then I had 3 again, and then we ran out. And so I went from cloud 9 to struggling pretty hard and fast. Maybe it's because I'm on to the harder stuff now. Coffee doesn't really do it. Coffee in the morning is great, but I'm not getting the energy hit, and I feel I crash a bit more after a coffee as well. So yeah, Red Bull's great. All right. Yeah. Tired today, and you?
Oh no, I'm fucking.
Just come round, like everyone just comes round. It's a bit
Have you got any Red Bull? We ran out.
Monster.
Oh, that's hardcore.
Yeah, man. The first thing we drank in the van, wasn't it?
Have fun.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
Action. It is Tuesday. Welcome back to Monuments. We will show you David Harbour at some point, but it's just going so well over there. There's no drama, so it runs the risk of potentially being a little bit boring. So yeah, not really needed here, as you can see. Amazing team doing all the amazing work for me. This is where it's all at. Our team is growing. We've got Darren from Hyde. Look, you're walking past. Darren couldn't join us last week because he was getting married in Las Vegas. So straight here, jet lagged, hasn't even done his honeymoon yet. He's straight to Chelsea. So thank you, Darren. Really, really appreciate it. So what did we get done yesterday? Obviously all the planters along this side are now rendered. The renderers were aiming to have finished yesterday, but we weren't quite where we needed to be to get them wrapped up. So we've had to book them in for another day. It's another cost incurred. We are going over budget. We'll run through all the finances of all of this at the end because, yeah, it's insane. It is insane. The stonemasons have made it halfway around just the lower courses, but halfway around one of the sides of the monument bed. So the decking guys are now chasing them around that side. While they do that side, the stonemasons are now on the other side. They lie the stone like this so you can see the faces, which makes picking up the right ones to fit in the right spaces much easier. Oh, running out of places to hide as well. As it's getting busier and busier, it's not really anywhere I can go, so I've just got to stand here, and then I get about 30 seconds in before I hear something, before I hear Max calling my name, basically. But yeah, feels like spirits are high, everybody is pretty tired, but if we hit our sort of goals and targets for today, it definitely feels like it's going to be a bit of a turning point, which would be good. I think everybody needs it. The planting team has started today. That's exciting. So we've got 40, 50 plant trolleys lined up on this site, which is pretty intimidating. There's some quite big stands starting on our neighbouring borders today, which is inevitably going to be a bit of a problem. We're going to do our best not to get in their way, but yeah, it unfortunately is a bit of an inevitability at this stage.
Yeah, hi, I'm Mark. I'm a thatcher based in Devon. Me and the guys have just come up to have a hack at this non-traditional type thatch. When Max approached me about this, I was a little bit hesitant because I knew it was going to be a technical thatch, and technical thatches take up time. So I spoke to some other thatchers who consequently told me that, you know, Max had approached them as well. And you know, they'd sort of told Max that they couldn't do it or whatever. But I like a challenge, you know. So when you normally thatch, this will be reversed. So we're thatching underneath the roof now, whereas normally it would be on the top, and gravity would allow you to just place the reed and leave it there. We can't just place a bundle of reed and leave it and walk away. We have to have one guy holding 4 bundles, one guy fixing them in. So it's very labour intensive, and it's very difficult to do when you haven't got room to manoeuvre in a small structure like this. While wildly impractical, it's just an illustration of how, you know, reed can be used as a sort of texturing element that will allow you to place it in certain areas that sort of add a certain softness to it. Thatchers in particular are sort of stuck in using it in the traditional sense, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but, you know, why not think out of the box occasionally? I wouldn't suggest I'd like to sort of do this every single day, but you know, I enjoy it, as I say.
Current headache, and this is what my role is becoming more and more of as we get busier and busier and everybody needs things, is mulching. So the guys want to mulch as they're planting over there. We haven't got the mulch on site. It was due in tomorrow. We're trying to get the delivery in today, but this is also the problem with Chelsea now, is they won't take any more deliveries. They have a booking system, and if your delivery's not booked in, you can't get it in. So you've got to be organised, which we have been, but any sort of last minute dynamic decisions, pivots in the schedule, etc., that you have to try and accommodate is really tricky. So I've spoken to, because this is for the RHS and they understand the magnitude and the pressure that we're under, they are working with us, which is great. So we're trying to get the lorry from Thursday booked in for Wednesday, and then by doing so we can replenish the stock that we've taken from David Harbour. So we've asked those guys if we can get around not mulching there today and then use that mulch to get these guys started. So yeah, it's just lots of that, which is fine and probably sounds pretty insignificant, but when you're quite tired and you can't get 10 metres before being dragged in for another question or conversation, it's actually quite hard work. But yeah, anyway, we're getting it done. Thanks again to Berry Hill, and just for being flexible and accommodating, it's super helpful. It's just one big team effort up here.
Is that do you mulch, yeah?
Yeah.
You like a cup of sod?
No.
How many do you want?
Well, because there's 2 bulk bags over there.
Is that the ones next to the skip?
No, it's the ones on the David Harbour stand that the planting team are taking scoops out of them, but I've told them we need them over here. Okay. But we need them at that end of the stand. Amazing. Good. Thank you, mate.
I think massive progress. Walk me through it.
Yes, so we're just getting these guys to run through first couple of courses, and then the decking guys can run through and scribe in.
Yeah.
Because that's what is they're trying to chase through now. We obviously need them to pull through. So yeah, these guys are just getting the first couple of courses in. We've been placing all of the boulders that are going into the wall, which is good. Used up a few square meters.
I know, exactly. That's a photo moment, that is.
Well, it looks better from the other end.
Well, no, I think it looks better from this end, actually.
You're not meant to say that.
Thank you.
But yeah, I got the water feature propped up and in yesterday, which was a big moment. Every time something gets over the line, I get energy back.
Putting water in is a moment anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
This will come together. And there's a lot that.
Yeah, they're going to run through here today, ramp down there, and then by the time they've done that, these guys should be around, so they'll then frame that out today, and then they've just got to cut through and chase in here. But yeah, I mean, everyone's over on allocation and budgets are over, and UBS have said that we can have a conversation, so we've just got to try and claw a little bit of it back, because at the moment all the subbies are getting paid well and no one else is.
Wow, it's a complex piece of work.
Yeah, massively. But yeah, the guys have done how the Corton works against the.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah,
the
really
decking looks
lovely.
great. We've obviously been scribing in as we're going. The thatching looks awesome.
How's Max? Is he all right?
To be totally honest, out of every designer I've worked with, I don't think I've worked with anyone who I'd rather be under this much pressure with. And he listens as well.
I think you're in a good. I mean, there's a lot of work to do, but there always will be a lot to, and it's always going to be to the wire. You've got all the components here now.
Yeah.
It's not as though you're missing.
Everything and everyone is on site.
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
So I'm hoping they're impressed. I'm hoping they're.
Well, you're in it now. You just got to.
We're trying to be really on it. We're looking after the site, the surrounding area, keeping everything clean, and making sure we're respecting the monument and where we are.
Yeah, exactly.
So hopefully they've noticed that as well.
I think it's pretty amazing. How do you do?
Well, if you're free, Lacey, come grab a shovel.
I've got things over there to sort out.
I don't know just yet if I'm going to thank you for the opportunity, but we'll see how it goes.
Well, you asked for it. Be careful what you wish for, Ollie.
No, I know.
Be careful what you wish for.
No, I know. We signed up for it. Come on.
Hey, Max, you okay? Big smiles.
Good morning. It is Wednesday, and we're on our David Harbour stand on Main Avenue, my peaceful little escape. It is insane saying that a build at Chelsea is a peaceful escape, but relative to the chaos over there, it absolutely is. What we achieved yesterday was amazing. You can see so much of the planting is in now. We actually had our first visit from the designers, Fernando Wong and his team. So Fernando and Tim, they flew into the UK yesterday, so they came over to see us and were, pretty happy with everything. I mean, it's hard not to be really. I think the overall aesthetic now of this build and the colour combinations and textures are becoming really apparent. We've obviously got some of the sculptures here as well. In fact, we've got all of the sculptures here except one. We've got one more sculpture going in today. Plans today, as you can see, the guys are grouting now, so we're going to have all of the paving grouted, and that is ahead of we've got a kitchen and some signage being installed underneath the pergola. The planting team are going to be here in about an hour and a half. They've just given these guys a couple of hours to get ahead, so we're not in each other's way. They will then be back. So aims today, we're going to finish the planting, kitchen's going to be in, paving is going to be grouted. We're also hoping to make a start on the lighting.
Today we are grouting the David Harbour stand. So yeah, it's a bit of a battle because it's hot, so the grout's going off very fast. But yeah, we've got the dream team on it. 4 of us cracking through it, almost there. Going well. Last little clear up, get the Bertig on the go, give her a nice wash down. It's been a bit of a slog. Hands are hurting, backs are hurting, knees are hurting, but that's part of the game, really. So yeah, we're getting there. Bit of extra elbow grease.
From me mainly.
Mainly from Harry, because Harry's really the only one that kind of does work at Hardwood, to be honest with you. The rest of us just tag along. You all right, Harry?
Don't ask him any more questions, please.
I'm not doing it.
No,
Why are you being like that?
Why would you say that?
Horrible.
Why would anyone say that to anyone?
I'll just leave because no one likes me here anyway.
Oh, here we go. Womp womp.
I think we're a bit under the cosh here, lads. It's all right, at least we haven't got oil in our water.
Oh my God, there's loads of it.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I'm not winning at the minute. Covered the driver.
It did?
Oh yeah, but I thought it blew his way. It just all went up the side of the lorry. Where it burst, the pressure of the shish noise blew my hair and it blew all the mulch all over the road.
So we were typically right at the end. I actually think this is the last delivery. The grab lorry was unloading all these bags of soil, of mulch, and one of its hydraulic hoses blew and pumped threw oil into our pond. I know there'll be more effective solutions, but we haven't got the luxury of time to go out shopping and sorting and ordering in more things. It's a bit late in the day for that with Chelsea deliveries now, so we'll see how long this takes and actually how effective it is. It's definitely worse in this lower pond. I don't think it's, with the oil sitting on the surface of the water, I don't think it's circulated through all of them too badly. But he has also splashed oil all over this face of the Corten steel planter. So yeah, not ideal, not great. And because we've now dyed the water black, the contrast between the nice black water and the oil slick that's sitting on top of it is pretty stark. This is something that we won't tell Max has happened.
No, it's fine.
No need to cause that stress.
Someone will tell him.
Oh yeah, but if he finds out once we've sorted it, it's fine. But there's no reason, no need to stress him out. Oh, is it time for a Red Bull yet? Was it 9:16? No, that's a terrible, terrible idea. We're a couple of weeks into a very big, very high, intense build, but obviously a huge part of Chelsea is all of these smaller exhibitions. So all of these small independent nurseries coming to display and show off what they do, they descend on the last few days, the last few weeks. So suddenly we lose every little bit of space around us. We're constantly being asked, can you move this? Can you move this? Can you move this? And you've just got to do your best to, everybody is here together. So you've got to be as supportive and as you can. But what you hope is that everybody who comes together to throw their little shops together in the last few days, they've also got to be a little bit sensitive to and aware of all of the bigger builds and how sort of burnt out the people on them might be. But it's all looking great. I mean, this again is the part of Chelsea where everything goes incredibly green. You can see plant trolleys and plants everywhere. And that's what it is. It's a celebration of plants. So even on the show gardens, the main feature is always the plants. That's what Chelsea Flower Show is all about. The hard landscaping is just to form the framing and the structure. But the beds are filled amazingly by incredibly talented horticulturalists and mostly from nurseries who've been specially growing for the show.
So, hi, I'm Rob. Just joined the... Hi, I'm Rob. Just joined Hardwood Landscapes, really excited to be here. I've been involved in horticulture since leaving school. I was about the age of 16 where I joined the local garden centre, worked there part-time. Then went to Brinsbury College for 3 years studying horticulture and then been landscaping, gardening ever since.
3 years, that's more studying than I did.
Full-time as well. Yeah.
I think he's after the
Try to.
the maintenance manager job. That's what it is.
Just one underneath you, Joe, we're perfect. That's all it needs to be. After speaking with Jay for an hour on the phone and then for almost 2 hours when we were just walking, having a chat, getting to know each other, and we had an instant, almost bond that we're both on the same page, same wavelength of how we want the company to grow, which direction we want it to go in. Just real exciting opportunity, one that couldn't be missed out on. Jay, what's your favourite plant name to say? Latin. Like, for example, Aesculus hippocastanum. It's just fun to say. Not about the plant itself, it's the actual name.
Symphoricarpum trichosticumum.
Say it again.
Symphoricarpum trichosticumum.
A lot of the plants, luckily, you know, there was a bit of thought behind it, are just coming on perfectly. So you can see the salvias there are just opening. We've got some alliums. So the white varieties are going to be perfect for the show. The purples, we'll probably lose a few of them during the show. As you can see, they have gone a little bit early. So I've just told the sponsors that during the show, any of them that do go, we might have to snip off during the show. A lot of these irises as well, we've still got some closed flowers, so they've still got plenty of life left to give. Agapanthus are just starting to come out here as well. So hopefully, in a week's time, when this is full of people, everything will be in full flower and looking amazing. Can confidently say we are the furthest ahead with the trade stands out of anybody, so it just shows the importance of assigning the right team at the beginning of the build to just really smash it out. These guys are having to be super careful working around a lot of the planting, so we've laid conduits under the path going into all of the beds. So a good opportunity actually to thank our lighting sponsors, Inlight, and this was organised through Landscape Plus, who you know we work a lot with here at Hardwood, and they are fantastic to work with, but they've paired us up with Inlight, who have sponsored the lighting on this stand, so thank you very much. Can't wait to get it installed. Lighting, even on a trade stand, is really important. So trade stands are assessed and judged, just as the show gardens are. The criteria is of course slightly different, but lighting is something that they really like to see, so it's important to have it in. So we've got all of our boxes full of various different types of fittings and fixtures. We want to try and keep the lighting as subtle as we can, and because the planting density is so much, it's quite easy to hide and conceal the lights. So it's just making sure that we have the right lights in the right places to highlight the right sort of features. A lot of the sculptures on this stand have got inbuilt lights. I actually think all of them bar two have inbuilt lights. So there's a couple that we are uplighting, but the rest have lights in. So we want to make sure that the sculptures are the main feature. You may think, why do you need lighting? The show's only open daylight hours. Well, actually Tuesday night and Thursday night of the show are corporate entertaining. So it's an opportunity for a lot of the sponsors and hosts of these gardens. They will have guests, so they will invite people in their networks, people they're trying to sort of impress and schmooze into the show. So this will be full of, you know, good, important people that we need to try and network with. I will be here personally on those, well, I won't be here on Tuesday, but I will be here Thursday night. Anyway, so that's why we've got the lighting. So come night time, this will be beautifully lit up.
You stop putting this bit and I'll do this bit.
Yeah, just be careful of the plants.
What would have been easier if these plants weren't here?
It's Thursday. Welcome back to Monument, our monumentous build here in the main pavilion. So, I'm going to run you through what happened yesterday, where we are with everything, and sort of what targets and progress is for today. Doing my best to speak loudly and clearly, but you might be able to tell it's finally happened. I do not feel very well, which is completely inevitable and very irritating, but yeah, just pretty cooked really, very tired, very tired. Yesterday we had a bit of drama down here, if you remember, the pond, the water feature. So what you can see floating around in here, that is spill kit. So it's actually pulled quite a lot of the oil off the top. The first one we tried was completely ineffective. So if you own lorries and have those white sausages for a spill kit, they suck, they don't do anything. These grey ones have been pretty good, almost overly absorbent, but yeah, I think they've worked pretty well. So thank you very much, John from Berry Hill, for sending those up. It's been super helpful. So not too much left to do. The water we've dyed it black so it's reflective, and it's really, really dusty. Everything about being at Chelsea, there's just a lot of dust, there's a lot of pollen, it's pretty full on. So just by the nature of these water features, it will act as a bit of a skimmer, pulling the surface debris down, and it'll always sort of collect in this bottom reservoir. We haven't got the water feature running at the moment just because we don't want that oil to circulate anymore. But yeah, I'll get that sorted today. This is the last section, so both sides of the water feature is the last bit to be decked. Yesterday, the decking guys got around the monument on both sides, which is amazing because that's the really difficult, technical, scribey stuff. Excuse the background noise, there is literally nothing we can do about it. So what that means now is they've got these two much straighter runs. It's still not perfectly square and parallel, it's not as easy as you might think, but it's significantly easier than scribing every board around the boulders. So they've done an amazing job at that. So yeah, credit where it's due, the Cobham Court guys have been smashing it out. So we're hoping that after today they would have done one side and tomorrow they would have finished the other side. So fingers crossed at the end of Friday we're hoping to have decking and stonemasons off site so we get the site back ready to sort of really clean and prep it. On the stonemasons, again, Paul and his team from Gecko Stonework are smashing it. Yesterday felt like a real turning point in progress. They've been understandably a little bit anxious about the workload, but there's always a day on these builds where things just turn and you feel you're just starting to you've got over the peak, you've got over the hard stuff, and you've got your flow and your system going so you can wrap it up.
I like getting in close to all the details of it, and just taking off that little bit more to make it slot right into place. And it's just a bit satisfying, really. Where I can feel it wobbling underneath the stone where it's not level, and just taking off those knobbly bits to see if I can get it sitting any flatter, because then I can figure out where I need to cut the stone back to make it sit right with the one next to it. Sometimes you hit it that one last time to try and make it millimetre perfect, and the rock just gives up and you have to start again. It's happened on a couple bits, not many thankfully, but yeah, I guess that's kind of the thrill of doing something like this, because it can go wrong at any point, but when it goes right, it goes really right.
Max and his planting team, there's 10 in their planting team at the moment, so lots of bodies on site, are aiming to plant the last two big beds before, hopefully, tomorrow/the weekend, moving on to the monument bed, so the last one. There is a schedule. We are sticking to it now. We are sort of, checking in daily and making little to-do lists and making sure everybody knows what they have to do. But yeah, still a lot to get done, but everyone's doing a great job. Thatchers as well should hopefully be all done today. Oak framers are coming to do a bit of dressing and furniture, so hopefully that will be done today. But yeah, it's getting there.
The design is really coming to life. It's a lot better now, I've got to say, than it was maybe in our first check-in. There was maybe 2 days ago where we had a bit of a turning point, where I think just unanimously everyone could see the end, and they could see that we were going to achieve what we set out to, which is quite different than, say, day 2 or 3, where things were maybe a little bit tense and frictions were high, at least for me anyway. This has been months in the making, and it's all been on a computer, it's all been in my head and on a little 3D model. Normally, if I'm working on a computer and I come into a space, I go, oh, it's so much smaller than I imagined it to be. This complete opposite way around, this was so much bigger than I thought it was on, relatively speaking, on the computer. just having a really good team around me who I can just rely on to get on with the job. You know, I put some thought into actually the dynamic on site and really my role here. And if anything, I'm just sort of, I suppose I've facilitated an environment where people can just come and do their work. They can just execute their crafts to a really good standard because they know how to do it. You know, I can't do that. So it's nice just to be able to go, this is what we're hoping to achieve. Show me what you can do. You know, I'm just very happy that it's no longer stuck in my head. It's out of there, it's flushed out. So it's really exciting to see. And it's better. It's so much better than I imagined it to be.
Happy Friday. I can't actually believe it's Friday. It doesn't feel like Friday. Everything just blurs here. Managed to escape last night. I went home. So did all of us that were staying up. We all had a night home. The guys needed to go and have a bit of a load up and a sort out the yard, take a load of stuff back, bring a load of stuff up for the clean down. So we just thought it was a good opportunity to get a night at home with our sort of loved ones and better halves, etc., which was really needed. Still feeling pretty rough, but it definitely helped a lot. So, as you can see, the sun is shining. It's another really beautiful morning up here, so makes up for feeling a little bit ropey. One thing we haven't really touched on, when all the plants arrive, it is amazing the bugs and bees that descend on this place. It's obviously a flower show, so naturally you're going to get a lot of bumblebees, but they literally do. It goes from having none of them and being a fairly sterile construction environment to just literally buzzing with life. It is amazing. Will's going to hate me now because he's now got to go around getting loads of B-roll of bumblebees, but they are everywhere, so hopefully he can find them. What's going on at David Harbour today? We are pretty much done. We are pretty much wrapped up. So Andy has just done a run through of the lighting and electrics that he's set up. The reason being is I can now show everybody at the show how they work and how it all works. David Harbour have got one of their team down now whose sole responsibility is getting all of these sculptures unwrapped and unravelled and polished and cleaned, which is fantastic. So once he's done all of that, that's when we will come back and just do our final clean and snag around it. There's little bits that, slight oversights, it's tricky to know what to do. Like there's a bit of a void here within this sculpture. You know, do we plant within the sculpture, do we not? So those sorts of last minute decisions we're not really able to make until this is all actually properly unwrapped and unravelled. I think after today we'll get the Proplex sheeting up as well, and then we'll give everything. We haven't got a pressure washer, we're not going to use a pressure washer, it's a bit too aggressive really. We don't want to get all the sculptures covered in water splashes, but we do have our Berta, that mechanical sponge, so we're going to go over everything one more time and get this paving as clean as we possibly can, and I think that's all going to be pretty doable. So yeah, end of play Friday, this one is going to be pretty much cracked, which feels amazing to say. This one's been more of a journey in the run up to the show. At the show, it's run nicely, run smoothly. We're going to have one of the Hardwood guys here for most of the day as well, just tucking in cables, dressing the mulch, making sure everything's looking really good. And then of course, we've just got to keep as much water on these plants as possible in the run up to the show. Probably worth saying how a lot of the other materials work here at Chelsea while we're on the topic. Typically, big hedging and trees that come from nurseries are on a rental basis, and that roughly is about 50% of the retail cost. So they get everything for half the price, unless it's sponsored, and then the nursery at the end of the show takes them all back, ready to prepare them for another show or to sell them. So whatever the onward plan and journey is for that plant. All of the smaller plants, so the perennial planting that's filling these beds, so the 3 to 5 litre potted smaller stuff, typically that is bought, so the nurseries don't take it back. As you can imagine through the show, the planting can take a bit of a battering. So on the David Harbour stand, that planting is all going to be for sale, so they're hoping to sell quite a lot of it at the back of the show. And this planting, a lot of it, these have been bought by the sponsor and they are being relocated to the school at the end of the build. So again, that's another little look into the behind the scenes sort of logistics. It is day 17. We are still standing, and this is what it is all about. Don't really say much. Looks bloody amazing, if I don't say so myself. It's a very special feeling. It's a special feeling when everybody comes and you see all of this, all of these people who are very appreciative and aware and sensitive to horticulture, see the value in it. To see them here and hear all of their amazing comments is, yeah, it's what it's all about. The harbours are very happy, our clients are very happy, the designers are very happy, I'm very happy, I'm completely exhausted, left here at about 10 o'clock last night on the monument builds, but this is the result of amazing people coming together to do amazing things, and Hardwood have been tested on such a public stage, doing these vlogs as well, I think added a pretty serious layer of vulnerability. So the fact that we have managed to pull it off and show everybody what it took to pull it off is a really incredible thing. So I can't name everybody, I'm not going to name everybody involved, but we've had such, only because I don't want to miss anybody, but we've had such an incredible team of passionate subcontractors and helpers on this stand. In particular, just really want to thank Matt and Harry from Hardwood. They have been the consistent staff members that have been with me throughout this build. We've been supported by loads of other of the Hardwood team, which I'm incredibly grateful for, but those guys have been amazing. With the subcontractors, particularly Will from Hardwood Landscapes, he has been with us for the whole time, doesn't feel like a subcontractor, very much part of the team. So incredibly grateful, thank you very much, Will. Adam for taking the lead on the planting. So Adam's role with the planting was difficult, you know, he wasn't given free rein with the planting. The designers gave a very specific palette and what they wanted, and what he has managed to do is interpret that into what you see in front of us. So it is very much show garden planting on a trade stand. It's really elevated everything here. So it feels amazing. It does feel amazing. There's people mooching around, inquiring on the sculptures as well. I think we've made a couple of sales, which is amazing. Not that I'm part of that, or not that that's why we're here, but I guess it is. As you can tell, a little bit delirious, very tired. We've got press day today, so it's a pretty exclusive crowd. This is significantly less busy than the actual show is. This is where a lot of the PR companies, the sponsors, the BBC, anyone who's got any sort of media license for the show descend on the show. It's where they invite all of their guests and their VIPs. And so yeah, it's a nice crowd. It's exciting to be a part of. Gino De Campo just walked that way and Piers Morgan just walked that way. Not that I'm a massive fan of either of them, but it's pretty cool, isn't it? So yeah, again, very tired, but very happy. Thank you to everybody who's been involved and who's made it happen. Thank you to the Harbours for obviously trusting us to deliver all of this as well.
I'm Sophie Harbour, one of the founders of David Harbour, and I was quite involved with getting Fernando Wong to design the garden for us here, in terms of giving the brief and kind of being clear about what we wanted from our trade stand at Chelsea. He came up with a fantastic design that worked really well with all our sculptures, and kind of created some little corners that they could be shown in, so it's not all seen in one fell swoop. And we got Ollie actually involved from Hardwood Landscapes very early on in the whole kind of process. And he's been an amazing support, you know, steady, always there, reliable, and has done an unbelievably good job in terms of executing the design to perfection. And also, unusually, because Fernando Wong is based in Florida, Ollie's been great in terms of actually doing a lot of the plant choosing, you know, for him, and doing all the planting as well. So being a contractor, his kind of remit has extended, you know, somewhat in this trade stand. So it's been lovely working with him, and Hardwood Landscapes have done a fantastic job. We just hope that we win a lovely trophy or 5 stars.
Welcome to Chelsea Flower Show. My name is Fernando Wong, and I am a landscape designer based in Florida. And I have the wonderful opportunity to be invited to do Chelsea for David Harbour. And we have managed to do something absolutely beautiful for all his beautiful sculpture pieces. I was inspired by classical principles of design, center axis, line of sight, and also the English countryside, and where a beautiful, soft, green, lush will frame the wonderful sculptures that you are appreciating today?
I think this is my 30th Chelsea Flower Show, and we've always had the prime site, and we are lucky enough this year to have had Ollie from Hardwood Landscapes creating the stand for us, designed by a very eminent American landscape architect, Fernando Wong, but implemented, and it's all in the implementation by Ollie. I suspect we'll get 5 stars. We are judged almost by the same standards of the show gardens, but we are a trade stand. I'm here to sell my sculptures, and Ollie has created a workable, usable space which we can share with the public. It's very serene, it's safe, it's friendly, and we will have, at some stages in the week, there'll be 50 or 60 people milling, talking, chatting, and enthusing in this lovely environment. I describe my pieces as sculptures without egos. It's not about the sculpture, it's actually about what it reflects. So working in a garden context, the piece draws your eye, but it actually allows you to, it transforms the garden and reflects it. In the same way that something like the mantle, which is bronze and gold leaf, it just takes a wisp of light from the sun and it bursts into this irradiant ball of energy, a life force of its own from the sun. It is a combination of top American landscape architect and Ollie's dedication to the quality of the finish. It's going to be good. It's going to be a good show.
What we didn't capture on the camera last night was the 10 p.m. finish on this site to get it looking like this. So yeah, you can see big smile on my face, little bit sort of lost for words, and not entirely sure how we've pulled it off, but we have, and wow, it looks amazing. Again, it's such a fantastic representation, this build, of how the planting has really tied everything together. Similarly to the David Harbour build that we've done, just seeing people moving around and using the space has been such an amazing thing to witness. You can see the decking's covered in footprints now, but I really don't mind. It's just great to see this space being used for what it was meant to be. We're right in the middle of the main marquee, and so what tends to happen is this plot can become just a bit of a crossroads, so you just get people cutting through it. But what we've seen is it just isn't being used for that. Everybody is coming through and they sort of step into it and realise what it is, and everyone is just stopping and looking around and really taking it in. We've put lots of benches in sort of strategic places as well, so there's lots of people who are sort of figuring out that this is actually where you can come for a bit of a rest. We're in a very busy marquee, but this is a bit of calm in that chaos, which is amazing and has just worked really well. So you've obviously seen it being built, you've seen how much work and effort has gone into it, but thank you so much again to all of the incredible contractors from Hardwood and subcontractors from everywhere else that have actually made this happen. It's an amazing thing to be a part of. We've had so many incredible compliments today by people who've been coming to the show for 20, 30, 40 years and have seen this site in so many different ways, and so many of them have said that this is the best that it has been. I've also got a feeling that because of the inevitable complexities that are going to come with the breakdown, that actually, will something this big around this plot ever be built again? I don't know. So yes, breakdown's going to be incredibly stressful, but I know in the back of my mind that we've got a real opportunity to have our name to something that was actually delivered and looks incredible. If you're coming to the show, I hope you enjoy the space. I hope you've enjoyed watching all of this coming together. I hope we've shown you a little bit into the behind the scenes of the amazing people that actually makes this happen. It's gutting to me that it's something that does get such fantastic mainstream media coverage only happens when the show's open, doesn't happen for the build. The magic of Chelsea isn't the show when it's finished. The magic of Chelsea and all of these shows is how they are built, how they're put together, the incredible companies, incredible suppliers, incredible growers, incredible people that actually make it happen.